Hey everyone, I'm Tim, and we have Eric here with me today. And so I thought one of the things that I've had a lot of questions and people ask me about is, what does coaching look like with you? And so what I really wanted to do is just kind of nobody better to talk about that than a current client of mine. And so I wanted to bring in Eric here to just kind of like answer some questions and walk through exactly, how coaching has worked and what that relationship has been like of having an online fitness coach. And so, Eric, we've been working together. We probably should have talked about this before. Probably since what, 2022, 2021,
Right
something like
around
that?
where my third daughter was born. So she is now 4.5. So yeah, I think around 4 years.
Yeah.
A little over 4 years at this point.
And you were on paternity leave too, I think, right when we started?
I sure was.
Yeah.
Yes,
Nice. Oh, that's the good way to you for to remember it then. Yeah. Birthday.
exactly.
Yeah. And so yeah, well, I wanted to just kind of pass to you before I kind of go through some questions of just kind of understanding so people know a little bit more about you. So just kind of give you the floor for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. So Eric here. So I live out in California, work in the tech field. So I would say I'm in my early 40s at this stage in my life. But yeah, I have always, fitness has always been, part of my journey. I was very active growing up playing tennis. I actually played tennis in college. Um, I have not kept up with it as much in recent years. I kind of got right into the professional working life right after school and, you know, got married in my late 20s and ended up having got 3 kids now. So, just really trying to figure out the balance of life kind of as we all are as we are evolving through this world here.
Yeah, I can tell with the kids with the pictures and the drawings and the in the background. So I've got
Probably
mine all on the
a
side
good
over
cue.
here. Yeah. Nice.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, why don't we start off here? Kind of a good one that I wanted to talk to you about was like, what was your relationship with like whether it's like health, fitness before, starting a program with me, and what made you join? Like, I know you talked about like being active before, but on taking it to another level of like a
Yeah.
a dedicated routine.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think knowing I had played tennis in college, and I'd always known that I wanted to stay in some sort of shape after college. I'll say it has my journey with fitness and what I did from a routine standpoint. I'd characterize it as myself like educated guessing on what I think I should be doing throughout my 20s and 30s, and it would change throughout the years. I'd say a few of those years I would be really into jogging, where, hey, I'll go out a couple times a week and, running feels good. Let me just get some cardio in. Other times a friend may have said, hey, you should really try Pilates or yoga. So I may have gotten into that for a couple of years and worked in some of those classes with like a yoga app. And in my early 30s, I actually got a herniated disc in my back where nothing specific that I did, but I think it was just kind of wear and tear over the years. I think part of it was probably all the tennis, and part of it was having kids and maybe maneuvering with the car seats. But it was one of those things where one of the first injuries I've had where it really impacted, mental health, things like being able to wake up in the morning and having trouble even like putting my pants on or my shoes on while having small kids. It was, I wouldn't wish that mental state upon anybody. It was rough. And throughout that rehabilitation, I had learned from some folks that had gone through a similar injury and some physical trainers that, hey, like it's really important that you really need to strengthen your body. And through in my whether that, more weightlifting and core. So I started to get a little more educated around that. But again, even after that injury, I was still doing things on my own. I would say I did a little bit more weightlifting. I probably defaulted to just doing things that felt good, like upper body lifting.
Yeah.
Again, this is like me making my own programs. And it wasn't until probably later 30s, I had my third kid, and I really was like so much busyness going on where I didn't even have the mental bandwidth to even think about what should I even do for an exercise program. Um, I really valued the work and talent that Tim was doing in that here's a professional that can take all the guesswork out of what I actually need to do. I've always been the type where if someone can just kind of tell me what I need to do from a workout standpoint and get in the gym and follow that routine, to me, that is something that is a great formula. So I think a lot of it was just like maturity and getting older and realizing that like, hey, I probably should be leaning on professionals that actually know how to strengthen a body and help people with their physical and mental health, especially as they have kids and, as the body's getting older and people really need to lean on experts like Tim to help them get through this physical journey.
Yeah, I mean, a lot changes as there's just so much kind of going on in your life with, with stress and kids, and so it's nice to just take some mental, bandwidth away for a little bit. What were there any like specific results or changes that, over the years you've kind of experienced as where we've been working together, whether it's like, the physical ones, the mental ones, just kind of like emotionally, what were kind of some
Yeah.
specific ones you've noticed?
Yeah, I mean from the physical ones for sure, like I would say in the last couple of years, even though I'm like in my early 40s now, even like in the summer and stuff, I definitely have gotten like more compliments, whether that's from my wife or just friends being like, "Oh wow, like you're really looking in good shape." And that's something that I hadn't really experienced like even in like my 20s and 30s when folks probably think about like, "Oh, that's probably your prime fitness years." And I think that really was just consistent, weightlifting and the balance of exercises that you put together. So that's been great. I think from an emotional standpoint, it's just freed up so much like mental bandwidth of not even having to worry about designing the right type of workouts where my goals and the thing that's been helpful, I've been more clear on my goals with kids and that like I just want to feel good and have energy to be able to play with my kids and also not get injured and being able to work with you and have your programs knowing that you're designing these aligning to my goals of wanting to stay in shape. I'm not looking to win Olympic weightlifting titles, but you know that I want to stay strong, I want to improve, I want to get stronger and injury free. So from a mental bandwidth standpoint, I feel like it has been incredibly freed up where I can now just focus more on even work and family life and knowing that the fitness part of it is taken care of and I just have to show up.
Yeah, compliments from the wife are always they're always going to be welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, those are infrequent, but that is definitely one that stuck out more than normal for sure the last couple of years.
Yeah, and I remember getting an email from somebody who's a client that was playing with you in tennis, and they were like, he was like, Eric just completely kicked my butt, and I was like, how do I get about doing that? How do I get in that sort of shape? And so now we're working together, which has been awesome. So
Awesome. Yeah, love it. Good
yeah,
motivator for new clients.
yeah, for sure. Was there? I feel like everybody's journey is always going to be a little bit different in terms of when they like experience the whether it's like a breakthrough or like kind of like turn a corner and you start to see more results, you know what I mean, happen. So was there like a moment for you, within us working together where you felt like you did kind of like turn a corner and start to feel just a difference in yourself mentally, physically?
Yeah, I think one of maybe the shocks of first starting to work with you the first couple months was that you were designing full body, knowing my goals were like, hey, I just want to be strong, doing the right balance of exercises, and you were designing weightlifting dumbbell exercises for full body for me. And what I had never done consistently, even throughout all the years playing tennis, was lifting legs consistently. As I said, I was doing a lot of like fun upper body exercises and after like I'd say 3 months or so of doing consistent leg exercises and weight training, I do remember a day when I was commuting into San Francisco. When you get off the train, there is a huge staircase that I was taking when I commuted into the city, and I would always just like skip steps getting up to the top for myself just to see like can I do this challenge? And I could always get up to the top, but I would always be like panting and legs were definitely tired by the time I got to the top. But I remember a few months after we were working together, there was one day where I was like easily able to do it and my heart rate was like still low and my legs felt strong. And I think mentally I was just like, wow, some of these, even though like lifting legs is certainly not fun and something I hadn't been used to, that was a breakthrough moment for me that I definitely remember.
I can't believe you didn't tell me that. I would have had that everywhere. Yeah.
I should have. I should have
Yeah.
told you that. Some things I like to keep to myself because I was probably embarrassed about the whole skipping step routine and being and panting prior to
Yeah.
that.
That's awesome. What would you say to somebody who is kind of like on the fence about whether it's, hiring a coach, maybe specifically like working with me, like what would you say to them if they're on the fence? What would you want them to know or, put whether it's putting them at ease or just, educating them a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, I would look at it as like you absolutely just won't regret it. I think if you're the type that wants to improve physically and mentally, go for it. Like invest in yourself. Working with you has been awesome. Like I can't even think of a scenario where we aren't working together. In some ways, I've kind of looked to you as not only like a personal training coach, but you've even coached me through some like times where I might have tweaked something injury wise. You've always given me the confidence that like, hey man, it's all right. Like it's normal. Like we're gonna work through
Right.
this, customizing exercises for me. So I would say like, and I've told this to a few folks that I've referred your way, and they've told me after a couple months of working with you, you're like, thank you for pushing me to work with Tim because I absolutely have not regretted it.
Yeah, and it's never going to be 100%, sunshine. Where in the sense you talked about the elbow, for example, was something you kind of dealt with for,
Yeah,
for a little bit, but like just working through it, and we can always have a routine. We can always have something we can do, and I think giving you that confidence of like, no, no, this is going to be the right thing. We're going to get there. And I
that's
remember
right.
at one point you messaged me and you were like, you were totally right. This is what we needed to do, and you're in a better place now.
Yeah, because I think without working with you with those types of injuries, I probably would have just like shut it down and like maybe just done like some walks or jogs for a few months. And you're like, no, man, there's actually you can still stay strong. Like we can make some
Right.
adjustments and tweaks, and just having that confidence and knowing, you've seen these types of scenarios play out throughout all the years that you've been doing this stuff just really helped me like mentally and physically get through those injury moments.
Yeah. I mean, how would you say whether it's like the programming itself, and just kind of like knowing again, you have something that you're going to be able to do every day and you kind of have everything dedicated in the sense of where it's like you have my weekly layout, I know what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
You've been getting stronger. You kind of talked about like, having more energy. How is that beyond the fitness side of it, just beyond the gym side? Like, have you
Yep.
felt that kind of like impact you in the sense of like, whether it's like your daily habits, your the routine, the way that you kind of like, family life, things like that. Have you kind of noticed and like seen positive impacts and things just outside of the gym?
No question. I mean, for me, I've always been the type where it's like exercise to me is like the best medicine, and I'm a morning person, so I just had a routine of knocking out your workouts in the morning and doing them at home. So from being able to just finish those workouts, probably some of the endorphins, of course, are kicking in a little bit, but it definitely has helped me on the family front, just more like mental energy, helping the kids, whether that's a school day, like kind of get out the door, me being in a better mental state, just knowing that I've already knocked out one of your workouts and I, am gonna have a great day as a result of that. To me, that's been a huge plus.
Nice, nice. And then last one that I have for you, I was curious on is like who would you recommend, working with me too? And like why do you feel like it would be why is that a good recommendation? Like why would you recommend me to them?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, anybody, I think, there's definitely folks I think that I would say if you're the type that you can be disciplined and you're looking for somebody to create a great workout for you and you're going to be able to do that and you want to improve and continue to improve your fitness, like no brainer, like you should be working with Tim. I have met folks that are like, no, like I've got to do exercise classes because I have to be working out with like 20 people in a class and I can't imagine. So if that's like if you're ingrained with that, maybe this isn't the best fit. But for the majority of folks, especially if you're busy, you're able to even do workouts at your local gym or at home. And the thing that I should have mentioned prior is that the thing that has also been huge working with you is that I travel a decent amount for work. And before I was working with you, I'd always stressed out being like, it's going to be really hard to like, does this hotel even have a gym? What should I be even be doing on these travel days? You've taken that whole mental equation out of me. You're just like, hey man, let me know what days you're traveling, like about how much time you think you'll have. And you've been designing like workouts for me, whether that's even doing like TRX stuff in my hotel room or down at the local gym. You have constantly tweaked the schedule for me to continue to hit my goals as life has changed, because it is changing fast on all of us. There could be a few months where I might reach out to Tim and say, "Hey, the next couple months are going to be really busy for me. I'm going to need, is there anything you can do to even take down the workouts by like 15, 20 minutes, but still allow me to continue to improve on my strengths?" And you're always like, "Yeah, I got you. There's some things that we can tweak." And you've done this so many times now where I'm almost probably my expectations, maybe bad for you, are so high where you continue to hit the mark though, like you're customizing programs depending on where I'm at in life. And I've continued to see gains, even though we've had to make, some tweaks in like time and schedule throughout the years.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone from what I think we started with 3 days a week to then we went to 4 days a week, and then it's like you said, it's the travel weeks, and so like you just there's always something we can figure out to make it work. But and I think too the thing I mean, where we talked about like the first time that you were traveling, for work, and I was like, no, this is what we can actually do. It's something that I don't know if you would have done that a couple of years prior, it would have just been that whole week would have been a throwaway where it's maybe not any workouts, and then it's just hard to restart. You know what I mean when you get home after that, and so like just being able to do something, and being willing to do something is it probably the biggest key. But that kind of starts with just taking that first step, I think.
It is. And I should also mention as far as folks like on the fence, the accountability piece has also been huge working with you
Yeah.
because it's like for me, it's like I don't want to, I know you're taking time to design all these programs, you're checking in with me. I also don't want to like part of me is definitely like disciplined to do it, but there's some days where I'm like, can I get this one in? But knowing you're gonna be like, hey man, like I saw you missed a workout. Like it's almost like I don't want to disappoint you. I want to get the workouts in as well. So if someone just kind of needs that extra nudge from an accountability partner on someone that's gonna have your back, we're working with you definitely, by far fits the bill on that front.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, it's been great, obviously working with you, and we got many more years to come. So
Of course.
that's really the main ones I had. I hope people are able to take something from this. And so thank you for obviously for being here. It was always great to see you.
Yeah, of course. No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Tim.
All right, you got it, man. Thank you.